This one, oh yeah, I had that one. Oh, he's
Yeah.
gone. Who got it? Do you know who got it? Well, no, I
That
don't.
red truck that's going 45.
I know. Yeah, the red truck.
It was the Prius.
Yeah, it's at about 4:30 a.m. in November.
Prius has hit a lot of deer because the deer can't hear the Prius at all.
Right.
Oh, I'm already recording. Let's do this. Here we go.
Yeah.
This is the Okayest Hunter podcast. Never pass on shooter bucks, because that's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag, you hunt how you want. This is Okayest Hunter.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Welcome back to another week of the Okayest Hunter podcast. We're sorry that you're here, but thank you so much. Appreciate you guys being patrons, guys and gals being patrons of the show. Hopefully you're checking out the whole lineup now. We got the Okayest Fisher, we got Upduck, we got this one. We might even have a fourth coming on deck.
What?
So we'll just, no one's going to have a clue what it is until it debuts. But that should be fun.
Weeded Whitetails is finally taking off.
Weeded
Whitetails, yo.
We were talking about ditchweed earlier.
Smoke them if you got them.
We'll cover all of them.
We're brought to you by Half Rack.
Anyway.
Say it after we say something ridiculous. I
I thought you'd say something like one hitter or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
One hitter whitetail.
We're brought to you by Half-Eighth.
Half baked.
Half baked. Man, I don't know all the paraphernalia lingo, but there was a lot of comments on the April Fool's one where like people are like, you could call it blunts and bucks.
Yeah.
Dude, there was like 300 comments of what you could call
Yeah.
But like
They were
the
good.
best comments were, no, seriously, I'm like a real big fan of cannabis. I have been for a number of years. I'd love to be a guest on this show. I'm like, no, it's not real.
How many psychedelic sellers did you get following the page after
We got
that?
a new sponsor. They're like a silent partner. Silent Jay and Bob.
I had a few friends. Who actually messaged and were like, "Is this for real? Are you guys doing it? This is sweet."
I just was shocked that
would
there's
be-
that many people that were in favor. I was like, wow, I guess weed is acceptable in the deer hunting community, apparently.
Oh,
I had no idea. I would just as soon have been like, get that devil's lettuce out of here. And everyone's like, no, toke it up. I'm like, oh, geez.
I could see it being a divisive like barrier for some people. Like you have the hardcore like, we go to church on Sundays. We're Christian. We don't touch devil lettuce.
Nah.
But then you have the other rednecks who are like, how do you get through the day without?
totally.
Deer hunting's so boring.
Dude, I work with a guy like that. Like he couldn't function without it,
Yeah.
and you could tell it was a bad day when he forgot something at home.
His peace pipe.
Yep.
One thing or the other didn't matter. Like he was totally dragging ass, and like you knew it was potty break.
But that guy was stress free. No
It
anxiety.
totally was.
Yeah.
I never got
Anxiety,
my.
what?
I never got mad at
Chill, bro.
anybody.
Yeah, like he was my lead guy, so he'd disappear, come back, all was well.
Just all the smoke
right.
coming out of that porta potty, man.
Yeah, man, what's going on?
I lit a match.
Sewer water.
Yeah.
Sewer gas.
Oh, boy.
So anyway, half rack.
Hey, so I was talking to those guys. I got to figure out the giveaway stuff. I haven't touched it yet, but I think it'll be next week, so I'll have enough time to get my ducks in a row. And we'll get creative with that, I think. They love to give away all their product. I'm just kidding, they don't, but they're gonna with us, and I feel the same way about giveaways. I don't know what the hell either of us are doing. I don't know why we're gonna do it, but yeah, they're doing some fun stuff with the hunter hangers. There's like some extra versions of those coming out that'll be pretty unique, which we might have a say in some of that actually ourselves. Wouldn't it be cool if there's a little antler right here? You
Might
know,
be.
the special kind of antler that we have in the studio. So that might be a thing. I don't know.
Like,
And then we're going to do a turkey hunt with one of their guys. The 20th, you're going to help us, Greg?
To a certain extent, yeah.
Question mark?
Yeah.
I am Ron Burgundy.
Right. My plan is to put you on the field in the kill spot with a cameraman, and then I'm going to take the other two, and we're going to go gallivant the rest of the property.
And you'll be the cameraman?
I might be the cameraman if I kill one by either Wednesday or Friday.
Zone 2.
Yeah.
All right. If you need spots.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
actually going to be in Europe. I'm going to be in Armenia at that time.
Oh,
Really?
Armenia.
Yeah.
So you want some help killing some turkeys while you're gone?
Well, I'll just
We
I'll outline
we
some
might
spots
educate
for
them.
you.
I don't know if we're gonna deplete. We're definitely not depleting the population.
I have already educated, so it's certainly going to be a tall task.
I have followed along. It's like, oh, I've been there. Yeah.
I've seen that spot.
Well, not even so much that spot, but just been there mentally with getting defeated.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It happens.
I've never killed one yet, so
Really?
yeah.
Oh man,
I've been
That's
on a
such
pretty good.
feeling.
I'm happy to
I've
kill
been
a
on
baby
a
beard.
pretty
I know
good
there's like
streak.
a whole bunch of drama around that, but consider me a child. Like I'm a 12-year-old boy going to turkey hunt. Okay, if I kill a baby beard, it's okay.
Don't let the beard fool you. He's just a child.
Yeah. If I shave it off, you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Right?
So you're third and fourth gen.
Yeah, pretty much. It's getting like I got my own gizzard.
A little waddle.
No, but Half Rack will be with us, so it'll be fun to use their stuff. I think they sent you some slings, some gators. We got the stool.
Which
we got
I
all,
forgot to grab.
they have a lot of accessories, so be sure to check those guys out. Use code OHP across all of our partners. Be sure to go to latitudeoutdoors.com, SpartanForge.ai, Method Archery, and Time to Go Wild. And I'll leave it at that for now. I'm not going to go to the... I say it's every week. I say I'm not going to do a deep dive, and every freaking week I do a deep dive. But it'll just come up organically and naturally. We'll talk about them. Is anybody shooting turkeys with archery? Anybody bringing their bow and arrow? Yeah,
I did that for
It
2
just
years.
adds another level of frustration and defeat.
I had
Shoot 'em in the
multiple.
face.
Yes, I had multiple toms come through under 30 yards, and I couldn't get drawn.
Yeah.
Because I'm like running and gunning with my bow, so
And
I'm
you're
just kinda,
naked.
like setting up. Yeah,
You're
just
out in
like,
the open.
just waiting for them to like turn their head and whatnot. If they don't strut up and turn away from you like they do, almost all the guys you see that actually do it, like it's almost like they get to the decoys, they strut up, they turn, then they draw, then they shoot them.
They do
like
the
what they do
hokey-pokey?
when you have a gun.
Yes.
When you have a gun, they do
I
that.
prefer, yeah. But like these turkeys that I was running into, like I couldn't get them to like do that. And then because they didn't do that, I'd like try to draw on them and then they'd like see me and run away. And eventually I was just like, fuck you. Boom.
Let's party.
Yeah. I was like, all right, this is
Hasta la
great.
vista, baby.
I got to put, yeah. And my kids love turkey nuggets. And I personally really enjoy white chili stew. Like if you
white chili's great.
yeah, like you do the turkey legs in a crock pot for like 6 hours, peel it off, then you do a white chili, then you put all that meat back in there, and I love it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's
So,
a nice meal.
Yeah.
So Matt and
It's a little hardy for this time of year, if you ask me. But
no. Matt
Like
and-
white
Matt-
chili, like red chili. I don't know what it. Maybe it's because it's like white. Like
Literally,
I feel like it's light.
lighter.
It's
Lighter.
white chili.
Less
It's light
acidic.
chili.
Technically
Yes.
lighter.
acidic, yeah.
right?
But no, Matt and his brother-in-law stopped by last week, and his brother-in-law made a turkey soup, but with wild rice, and that was really good. And it was the same thing.
yeah.
Slow cooked the legs to the point where you could just shred the meat off the tendons and everything,
You could do that.
and threw it in there. It was a cream-based soup with carrots, onions, and wild rice and whatever spices, I don't know, but it was pretty darn tasty. And we just thing of biscuits, and you dip the biscuits in the sauce and enjoy. It's quite delicious.
So for you, Eric, if you kill one this year, we'll make this. But if you don't, I'll make it for you, and we'll freeze it, and then you can have it in the tree stand in a thermos.
oh,
When
wow,
it's hardy
that sounds-
meal season.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
that's a good idea. I know a lot of people-
hardy for me.
Shut up. It's like I'm not gonna drink it. Well, I would. I guess I would drink
I don't know
it.
if I can handle that. Pretty heavy.
He'll be hitting the crap strap pretty hard.
right.
I'm thinking of like in summer you want like a Hefeweizen, not a Guinness, right?
True.
That's
That's
fair.
how my brain's thinking
No,
about
fair
it.
That's,
enough.
I
On the lines of
understand.
beer. Yeah.
I understand where you're coming
Put an
from.
orange slice in there if you want to be real prissy about it. Freaking elitist hunters.
I don't drink Hefeweizen, but when I do it with an orange slice.
It is nice. I heard that they put limes in Coronas to keep the flies away. That's how that all started. And
Interesting.
then everyone else just
Really?
Americanized. I was like, well, I like lime in my Corona, but it served a freaking purpose.
Yeah, it tastes better.
Well, actually, I think it does.
No, I think just jammed it in
But
there.
it was to keep the flies
keep
out.
the flies out of it,
Yeah.
out of the bottle.
Yeah,
But it's like, how are you drinking your beer that slow? Where are you drinking with that many flies? Probably in the crapper. Is your buddy at work?
Well, you never know.
He wasn't drinking at the
he wasn't, and I guarantee you, he wasn't crapping either. Let's be honest.
We know he wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
No.
Holy cow. So welcome to the studio, Anthony.
yeah.
Not
it's
your-
good to be
Welcome to the shit show.
It's not your first time on the show. In fact, my dad was like, I know that guy. He used to do the
Tip of the
The
week
tip
or
of the
whatever?
week. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I was gonna say tactic talk. I'm like, that's not it. But yeah, you did the
Yeah.
tip of the week for like
A while.
a while. Like
Just
we
the
inserted
tip.
those to a lot of episodes, and it was just a tip. I thought that was
It
fun.
was.
It was.
It
really
was.
good.
Yeah,
You're
it
kind of
worked.
doing a tip a week, like on your social. I think you're still doing
I
a lot
tried.
of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I know. I thought about that a while back. Like I was doing the old reel. Like I was doing reels before reels were reels. Like I was doing almost all video content on Instagram, and then I kind of like fell off because I feel like I repeat myself. And now I understand, like when you read bow hunting magazines, you read like the same style
Always.
of article
It's the same stuff.
every year. Yeah, and so like
it's
I
just
feel
maybe
like
a little bit different play on the words, but
Different
Yeah.
person,
most
slightly
the,
different angle.
the
but yeah.
idea is the
Right?
same. I mean, we're to the point now in deer hunting where you're not really learning anything new.
unless you're
unless,
new.
Unless you're new
right?
or you're applying it and the aha moment comes about.
That's yeah.
What's the old Stoic quote? Like no man ever crosses the same river twice, even if because the river's not the same and you're not the same. So like
That's fair.
as you come across new knowledge, you're a different person and you're applying it
Yeah.
differently.
Or you're
Sorry,
in a
sorry.
different scenario.
No,
No,
keep
I
going.
100% agree. But I like you as a person. Like, I
Yes.
feel like I've talked about everything that I can talk about for scrapes. But some of that content might be 5 years old, and no
Yeah,
one's
you just
digging
dig it
through
back
my
up and
Instagram
repurpose
5
it.
years
Right.
ago.
But you feel it
So you
when
gotta
you
throw
say
that-
it.
you
You're
gotta
like,
throw
I
that
know
I've
refresher.
said this
at some
before,
point
yeah.
we've talked about this.
But like
Yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk will say, "This guy says the same shit." He's like, "Yeah, I know I say the same shit. I only know this much stuff. I'm only going to talk about what I know."
Yeah.
But some people need to hear it like 18 times.
Yeah,
you know,
or
or a
like
different way
it's
or a
new
different
people come
person or-
in. Right?
exactly.
You listen to Gary Vee
Yep.
for like 3-4 months, you get your shit together, and you're like, all right, now I guess all I have to do is execute. Like I kind of understand it, and then you leave, and then new people like are cycling in.
Yep.
And new people are paying attention.
You should be like Goodwill Hunting. I hope one day I come to your door and you're not here. I hope you stop coming to my content.
Right? Yeah, dude.
Go apply
You literally were the reason I stopped listening to Gary Vee.
Oh, that's great.
Because you said you're like, yeah, dude, I went and talked to him. I met him in person and everything, and all he told me was like, good, now go execute.
Yeah, and I was like, I should probably just stop listening and go do the stuff I know
Yeah.
he's going to continue to say.
Dude, that has helped me. So, like I told you, I got a new job, right? So I'm a director of sales for the software company that I work at, and I've hired 4 people now, and the other director counterparts also hired 4 people. So we got like 20 new folks rolling around, and the amount of analysis paralysis without execution is mind-boggling. Like these,
Well, especially salespeople.
yeah, because they're like, well, we need to do this, and then we need to do that, and then we
you
need
just
to
gotta
prep them
do.
so that we do this. And I'm like, no, just go execute. Like, you know the plan, you know the targets, you know what to do, execute. Stop thinking about it, just do it. And a lot of people are afraid to just do it.
Yeah.
Put in the work.
Yep. Yeah, this I don't know. That's like I mean, all that stuff can exist in deer hunting. Like, I remember the day that I got to a peninsula, hit cattail marsh grass. There was nowhere to go. Private property over here. Couldn't go that way, and I just stepped out into the cattails, got soaked, trudged on, and then I found the most rubs I'd ever seen in my life. It was a rub cluster. Looking back on it, hindsight's 2020. And I was like, I've never seen buck bedding like that. I've never seen rub clusters like that. And I was like, oh, this is the magic.
This.
Now, in
Click.
that actual hunt, I thought for sure I was going to kill a deer at like 8 yards. And I was like, he's going to come back to this bed. I'm going to kill him. And
Yeah.
nothing happened. I just kept hearing like maybe a
Happens a
muskrat. I
lot.
kept thinking it was a deer crossing the river. But
Always.
it was exciting. And that was like I remember it was like a pivotal moment. I was like, I'm going to keep trying this kind of stuff. Like, you can break things and it's fine. You can,
Yeah.
you're just in the woods. If you scare a deer, like you can always scare more deer and continue to learn, or turkeys.
Yeah. Yeah. Or turkeys for sure.
Mhm.
Like, I think turkeys have a shorter memory than deer.
That's probably really true.
I don't know, but I feel like they do, because I have tried to kill the same turkey multiple times, and he makes the same mistake, and so do I.
Wait a minute, what were we talking about earlier?
The difference is he has a bird brain. So he's got the excuse.
It's just slightly different context.
So you
but
said
yeah.
you're bringing your kid with you to go turkey hunt, or you had
Yes.
something? What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just gonna say you're holding out hope that maybe he decides to change his mind and do something in your
Yeah.
favor, but he still doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, so tomorrow morning will be the first turkey hunt with my son. He's 4 years old. He's super jacked up. He woke up, came running out to me. So my wife and I get up at 5:30. The kids aren't allowed to get up until like 6:15 or so. He came running out at like 5:45. Dad, are we turkey hunting this
that's
morning? And I
awesome.
was like,
Get back to bed.
I was like, no, go back to bed. He's like, what? He started crying. He's like, I want to go, So I was like, all right, we'll go tomorrow morning. And my wife looks at me. She's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. She's like, is he going to get full of ticks? That was her first question. I was like, I'll pick him off before we get home. Is that cool? But yeah, so we're going to try that. Got a few. I hauled him out to a piece of public and made like a deadfall ground blind with him earlier this year. And so he's been talking about going back to that. I don't even bring it up. He's like, hey, are we going to go hunt turkeys out of our turkey blind? Like randomly.
He knows.
And I'll be like, and so I'm like, all right, we'll go do that.
If he's got the interest,
Yeah.
scratch the itch,
I know.
Scratch
Feed
the
the
itch.
monster, man.
My only problem tomorrow will be keeping him from bringing his bright blue plastic bow. Like he really wants to bring that, and I'm
Let
like,
him bring it.
Maybe
Let
you
him
need to
bring
take
it.
it down into the shop with the camo tape
I
and
know.
wrap
I
the
gotta
limbs.
I gotta bring
That's
like
what
a
you should
T-shirt or
totally.
something. Like
When I feel like at some point I anticipate I'll bring my kids to all this stuff, and it's one of those things where I'm like, whatever, they just want to be out there, and I'm gonna have to come to grips with like it's not gonna be so serious. It's gonna be really interesting when they start coming to deer camp. That's gonna change everything. I got a buddy that his kids are probably at that point now. I'm like, dude, you want to bring them? You can bring them. Like it's fine. We can start introducing kids to our deer camp at some point.
Yeah.
But currently there are none. And so it's like, wow, we're going to pretend like we're 21 and drink a whole bunch. and like, it never goes well.
no, it doesn't. No, my buddy gave me a real good piece of advice. He's like, if you really want to have a good deer camp, have everyone go Thursday. So everyone gets blacked out drunk on Thursday, and then everyone wants to recover all day Friday, and then everyone
Get
actually
through it.
hunts Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
He's like, "You just
That's
gotta
what they
do
did
that."
up in Peshigo. Everybody took off work Friday. Thursday night was camp hopping. You'd go camp to camp
Yeah.
and see
Yeah.
everybody's camp and drink, and then it was Friday. Was like, all right, sleep in.
Recover.
Yeah, having a good meal and just kind of recover.
Yep. Yeah. So taking him, Charlie's his name. So taking Charlie out, and I'm hoping to be in the woods for maybe an hour. Like, probably like 10, 15
That'd
minute
be a
walk
record.
in, like 30-minute hangout, and then, oh, sorry, they aren't coming. Or like we're going to be in a spot where it's entirely possible that they'll come in. And if they do, it'll be a riot.
Bring some snacks.
Right? I know.
Some
I just
granola
have to-
bars,
yeah.
right? And-
Yeah. For me, I just, you get into, and as parents, all you guys know, like when you get into certain like serious scenarios, you become like snappy, like, hey, I know what you're supposed to do now, but you want to goof around, and we're not goofing around right now. So you gotta I gotta tone that back and be like, oh, the turkeys ran away. It's okay, buddy.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
When
No,
really
that's-
you're like,
Yeah, I know. Why did you move?
What's
you
that?
know?
Home Alone? You idiot. What does he call him? I don't remember what he calls him. It's like a terrible name in the Home Alone movie. My kids got really into Home Alone last Christmas. It was really weird.
the bow you mentioned.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Yeah, that's
You see him running away? That's you. I'll just make my kid cry and make him not want to come back out.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I shot a bird first season, and it was opening night. It was late, so my son was at home, even though he wanted to go. But it was like the day it was like hailing, and it was nasty outside. I was
Not
like,
good.
dude, we'll go one day when it's like nice out.
Yeah.
And I FaceTimed him from the woods. I got one. He's like, Dad, bring it home right now. I'm gonna get my bow and I'm set it up in the backyard and I'll shoot it. And I was like, okay. So I got home and he's like, cool turkey, go put it in the backyard, Dad. And he had his bow and he's standing there
Right there.
shooting arrows at the turkey.
That's awesome.
First shot, he hit it in the
great.
head.
He's going to be a
There you
killer.
go.
It's pretty morbid.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter
Oh,
doesn't.
man.
She thinks it's kind of neat, but she's not totally into it. My middle kid, my son, he's like, I think he's gonna be right there with me on this stuff by the sounds of it. Like, he wants to see deer. He wants to get his gun. He just got a compass out of his room today that I had from a long time ago.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna use this to find my way to get the deer. I'm like, all right, let's go, Dane.
Yeah.
This is great.
Teach me when you
And then
play
the
that.
youngest one, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's like an old lens set of compass. It's like a pretty legitimate compass.
Nice.
And I'm like, yeah, good luck working that thing.
Yeah, so I've been turkey hunting twice, both with friends with other tags, and the first time we went this year, we got on birds. We got on a lot of different birds, but we got on birds that we're working in, and then out on the public land I hunt, they have snowmobile trails. So then dude comes out to pick up all the signs for the snowmobile trails.
course.
He jumps the birds, and luckily we were in like a good position. Bird, a nice Tom comes walking through, and my buddy swings and misses. And he's just like, shit. You know, he gets all upset, blah, blah, blah. We go try to hunt the rest of the morning, nothing. And we end up going back. And on the way back, we're in his truck. He calls his son. He's like, hey, buddy. And he's like, did you get one? And he's like, no. We had one come in. He missed. And I missed, man. And he goes, okay, good. Because I really wanted to go tomorrow.
That's awesome. Yes.
He's like,
awesome.
Yeah, he's like, no remorse.
We can go tomorrow. That's
awesome.
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well,
Oh,
and,
that's fun.
I mean, turkey hunting, same thing with duck hunting. If you've done a little of that too, I'm sure, and that's something you can take kids with. And turkey hunting, not so much the movement, but ducks, they can get away with a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's a great thing to get them out and get them going on all that.
Uh-huh. That's something I got to get into a little bit more with him. Is like we're doing that like on the sales side. The nice thing about being in sales, you can like take customers to do all these things. So I'm like searching out hunters to try to like go fulfill hunts that I want with a customer.
Heck yeah.
Right. So one of those is a duck hunt that we have coming up, and
That'll be fun.
yeah, and one of the people asked me, "You've never been hunting," and she's like, "This I've never been hunting before. Like, I'm okay with it. I'm cool. We get to eat these things, right?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be delicious." She's like, "I've heard it's like like you can order duck on nice restaurant menus."
Different
like,
duck. Totally different duck. I'm just going to
like,
say it's totally
right?
different duck.
Yeah, I'm
But,
like-
hey, great.
I was like, "Yep, yeah." So then,
I've done this, and I thought, wow, duck is good.
yeah, and
Give me that red wine.
Lots
That's
of
right.
it.
Yeah. So then she says, she's like, so we're just gonna go like sit in a marsh, like all individually. Like, are we gonna be able to see the people that we're like trying to work with and stuff? I was like, oh no, like we're gonna be in this big pit, like picture like a big tree fort, but in the ground, and we're gonna be in there, and they're gonna cook us breakfast.
I'll make the omelet.
Yeah, that's
And I
exactly.
like your coffee.
That's what's cool about duck hunting.
I've only
Right?
seen photos
you
of
brew
that type of
coffee,
setup.
make
I've never-
breakfast,
Oh,
shoot
big
ducks
pit
while
line?
you're doing it.
Yeah,
It's
I've been
awesome,
in
man.
one. Oh, dude, I've been in one, and I'm so excited. This customer is down in St. Louis, so I'm so excited to go down there. and,
Forget
like,
selling to
just-
anybody. Just find those people, and then they'll just kind of naturally become your client.
Oh yeah,
What's your strategy? But
Take them hunting.
I just go hunting all the time. I don't know.
yeah. If you spend this many dollars with us, we go on a duck hunt. Oh. All right, let's talk.
Let's go. Let's go.
talk.
What do you sell again? Doesn't matter.
yeah. It's software. Just here's
Selling
the PO.
Ketchup popsicles to little old ladies in white gloves.
Get your bag limit. We'll talk.
Right?
That's funny.
Yeah. So I mean, doing the hunting thing with the kids will be a good time, and like
Yep.
the social aspect of duck hunting. But yeah, we'll see if we can snag a bird, and I'll roll with him Wednesday. But then Friday it'll be the actual. It's looking like it's gonna rain and whatnot on Friday, so I'm a little nervous about that. But either way, we'll get out on.
I've been really
Wednesday
bad
and
at
see.
checking the weather lately because it's not hunting season.
Yep.
Just no.
If it's not
like-
my turkey week, I'm not looking. I don't
Yeah,
really care.
I know. My wife's like, "What's the weather like, weatherman?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It's not hunting season. Like, it's not September through December."
I just had that epiphany right now. I'm like, you're saying like every day, win.
Oh,
weather,
yeah.
cold fronts. And now I'm like, is it raining today? It's supposed to rain today? Oh, well, okay.
Right.
What do I
Is it
freaking
hot or
care?
cold? Can I
Yeah.
wear jeans or shorts?
Yeah.
today?
Right?
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. So we all got kids. I want you to weigh in on it too. But
Okay.
like, because we
Uncle-
used to
Uncle Greg?
have the age, 12 or whatever in
Yeah.
Wisconsin. How old, in your eyes, are you gonna let your kids hunt, or should you let your kids hunt? Is it gonna, when they're
Like,
ready? Do you
pull
have
it-
a number that you think like you were waiting for?
Like
or
pull the trigger.
Yep.
So like, okay.
What
here-
does it need
yeah,
to be now?
Yeah.
Was it?
I don't think there is one. If you're on a mentor hunt, I don't think there is an age in Wisconsin.
Might have to do some Googling here.
Yeah. I don't know the actual legality, but my son has shot a pellet gun already at targets, and he's hit them at like 20 yards.
Nice.
So like the pellet gun was in a bag in like basically 2 bags. So all he had to do was like line it up and pull the trigger
Mhm.
like away. He never had to carry the gun. And so this is great. We had this my wife and I had this conversation the other night. She was like, "Yeah, you can have a gun and hunt when you're 13." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "More like 6." She was like, "Well, we'll talk about this." So, yeah, I mean, in my opinion,
We'll talk about after he kills something.
Yeah, if like I carry the gun and we see a squirrel that's running on the ground and stops to like chew a nut, and I set the gun up and he can pull the trigger and everything's safe about it, I'm good with him doing that at 6. Now, the real question is, when does he get to carry the gun around himself?
Yeah.
That's the question. Because, and I said,
That's almost like you can have a sip of my beer versus you can crack open your own.
Yeah.
yeah,
This feels very similar.
I think so. Because, like, that's because I told
They
him,
might be doing both. You wait a little while.
This is how deer camp starts.
Yeah, exactly.
Dad, a squirrel, hold my beer.
Let me aim this for you. This is youth season, right? Pull the trigger, buddy.
You're my designated shooter today. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
exactly.
a couple beers while you carry this gun.
No, so because when our decision was when he can practice gun safety with his Nerf guns, then he'll earn the opportunity to use a real gun.
No
So-
negligent discharges there, sonny boy.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
right now his fingers on the trigger, he's waving it around, and he's
Shooting
always like
Dad in
aiming
the
it at
face.
you. Yeah, yeah. So it's just like
Break
one of those
yourself,
things.
Dad. No. You're gonna have to stop doing
Right?
that, son.
So once he can really demonstrate that, then we're okay with like a BB gun.
Yeah.
So then after dinner, we had this conversation at the dinner table. After dinner, he goes, "Dad, can I work on my safety gun?"
Nice.
He knew what
He's
he
like,
was
"Oh
doing.
yeah," and I was just like, "Oh man, nice work."
Dad, do you like
buddy."
where my Nerf gun is pointed? Do
Right, I know.
you want to go hunting?
The other day.
Yeah.
other
How
day-
about Eric? How about
Well,
you?
this is not this is actually to what you just said. Like it's pointed this way. My son he's 3, like he's 3. Like he's just at a tough. Yeah, they don't have a lot of coping skills. They don't have a lot of regulation of emotion. Like
Yeah.
whatever. He's in the car losing his shit about something, just crying his head off. And we're like, the answer is no. The answer is no. Like we're just not gonna cave. My wife just handled it great. I was like driving. I'm like, wow, she's really committing to this battle. This is a terrible drive. And then he goes, she's like, no, you got to be nice. He goes, see, my nice. Just still bawling and just puts on a smile. I'm good. See, this is my good face. And she's like, that's not how this works. He like wasn't getting it, but it was one of the funniest things I've witnessed in a long time. So it was like in this heat of a terrible moment, they're still making you laugh. It's like, man. But no, I don't. What did that? So Zach Church just commented. He said, no number. I have 3 boys, and I think it's when they are mentally ready and understand the meaning of taking a life. I'm speaking on them carrying their own bow around.
Yeah.
So archery's even different still.
It
It
is.
takes a lot of practice, obviously.
Yeah. But the meaning
The
of
ethics
taking
of
a
it.
life.
That's
Yeah.
gotta.
That is a big deal.
That's
You
important.
learn what that meaning is, kind of once that happens almost. You would never fully understand it because you have to kind of experience it.
Yeah.
And
There's-
so that's kind of you
But
can
also,
prepare them a little bit.
the
but
mental ability of understanding for a 5-year-old is much different than that
again,
of a
comprehension
9-year-old.
and
How
emotional
your
regulation,
development,
and
yeah.
exactly.
So
and
like
that's impressionable.
physically capable kids are very physically capable, as you mentioned. Like
That's it.
send
Yeah.
out and make it happen. Like they can make it happen, but it's that mental piece that's always in the back of my mind. Like we're rushing kids to
Yeah, how
do
many
it.
movies are there when the kid like has the gun, the guy's like, "Oh shit," like,
Yeah, exactly.
you don't want to do that, sonny,
Right.
and then pow, and then you feel bad
Right.
for the kid in the movie because they just took a human life. We're not talking
Yeah.
about humans, but I'm just saying.
No, but like how many, that's a great point because like you said, you never like fully understand what it means to take a life until you like walk up to that animal, and especially if they're like just dying and you watch the life leave their eyes, you're
Yeah.
like, fuck, that is like an experience.
And that's a moment
right?
that's shared.
and
right?
that's literally when you look at that deer and you're like, thank you.
It's heavy, and then, like
Right?
it's supposed
It
to
is.
be, right? Like that
And
is.
so-
Should be, and as
It
soon as
should
it's
be.
not, then you need to do
it helps
something
you realize
different.
how
Yeah.
valuable life is. And so you
Exactly.
kind of all like you have this moment like, man, this is like you are an adult. You're very good at adulting, so don't take this as any slander, okay? But
He looks at
I'm
me.
so excited to hear what you're
are
about to
an
say.
adult.
I'm ready.
All right,
What do you got?
Let me
What
take
you
a
got,
sip
boy?
quick here.
Earmuffs, Greg.
I'll
Earmuffs.
do the camera. I'm really bad at
This
the
is
camera.
toddler
But
talk.
there's like
Yes.
I don't know who said this. I forget where I heard it, but some like educational figure or some personality that's in mainstream media in some capacity said something like, "You are not an adult," or like, "You don't grow up until you have a kid," because you don't understand the responsibility it's like to take care of someone else. Now there are other ways to grow up, but by and large, the main one is having a child.
Jordan,
And
Jordan Peterson.
thank you. That's who it
Yeah.
is. Yes. I don't know why that guy's in all my shit right now.
Because
but-
you liked a couple of his things.
Yeah. Stupid damn algorithm.
algorithm.
What's the deal with that guy? He's from Canada, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway.
yeah.
But I
No.
think there's something. So that there's backtracking from that a little bit is like, well, taking an animal's life has some other weight. Like I think you get this new appreciation for things.
Yeah, a coworker of mine once
fragile.
told me, he goes, "You think you love your wife? Have a kid." Like, and he's like, "That'll
Then you just resent her. Just kidding.
right." Yeah. He's like, once you have a kid, and you like, that's when you're like, this is like, it's a stronger bond of love because it's like your kid, and it's and it's an infant that relies on you versus a wife that is fully capable on her own.
When you have more than one kid, everyone's like, oh, I actually was scared. I was like, oh, I'm going to hate the next one. Like, I love this one the most right now because it's the only one I have. But then you love the next one differently. And people say your heart grows. I'm like, that's got to be true. Because
it's interesting.
Yeah.
That was the
Parenting's
saddest
interesting.
I told you so I ever had was my wife and I used to talk about that before we had kids. And I always say, like, you're going to love the kids way more than you love me. And she was like, no, like, that's not how it is. Like, I'll always love, you and I were the ones
man.
that started this all. Like, I'll always love you the most. Then first kid came along. She's like, yeah, you're right. I love him way more than you. And I was like,
dude.
I told you so.
It is it is a
I'll just
very
go sit in the
clear-
basement.
Or bourbon.
very clear. My wife will wake up and she'll like, she's not a morning person at all, and she'll come out and I'll be like making breakfast, and she'll look at me, and this is like an extreme example of my wife, but she'll be like, really? Like, not over easy? You're making them scrambled again? Like, she'll say something like that. And this is, again, an over exaggeration. And then my kid will walk out of the room and she'll be like, oh, hey, Margot. Hey, Charlie. I love you. Come on out.
What's this?
I got a donut for you. And I'm like, where did, like, the mean lady go? Like,
And then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
here's a
I
little topper in my
understand.
coffee.
yeah, exactly.
My mom used to do it. She'd be on the phone. She's like, you're a cheap shit. Da, 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 da. Oh, hey, Karen.
Yeah.
What the this is bullshit.
It's exactly what Dane did in the car. This is my happy
yeah.
face.
yeah,
I hate you.
exactly.
But I'm good. I'm good.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, Zach Church, Jordan Peterson.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, to his point, like, understanding the meaning of taking a life, because the other option there is like, all of us shot birds off the bird feeder at some point in our life.
Yeah,
Oh,
I had a wrist rocket. I got pretty,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
like I was into it.
So it's just like, that's like when you're at that age, you don't really like, oh, I got another bird. You kill it, you grab it, you pitch it back in the woods, or you kind of hide it from your parents, and then you move on, right? Like,
True that.
right? And then eventually you figure it out, and I, the meaning of this is like a vegetarian argument, or a vegan argument in a way, is like, oh, you're okay killing that mosquito, but you're not okay killing a deer. Like, what's the difference? Like, what's the difference in life? Life is life, is it not? And then you like,
yeah.
you like, yeah,
that's a whole different thing. I think we're actually
is.
like, and this is a slightly different topic, but I think we're closer with vegans than we are with the vegetarians to some degree. I have a cousin that's a vegan, and she won't push on anybody. She's not the kind of vegan that will tell you she's a vegan.
Okay.
How some are like, I'm vegan. What did
Rare.
you prepare for me today? Well, I came to your party. I hope you brought some food for me to eat. I'm like, dude, I don't have any veggie patties. Like, I'm sorry. Eat some carrots. I don't know. But she's like, well, I'll eat venison because I know you killed it and I know it lived a natural life and I can get behind the ethics of that. I'm not cool with how they just, treat cows.
yeah.
But I'm like, oh, all right, well, that's interesting. So it's about this fair treatment. I don't really know because I'm not a vegan.
Yeah.
I don't really care to understand it fully. But I'm like, well, where do you fucking think this leather belt came from? How do you think this phone was made? Like, at some point, you just have to, like, not live your life.
Oh, dude.
At
it's
all.
It's difficult. Like, if you want to go to the extremes.
it's like a religion at some point. Like, I guess you're going to go pay penance now or something like that. Like, you're just totally screwed, right? But
So I got a real good buddy, Riley. I don't know if you met Riley.
he's a bigger, he's pretty buff.
6'7".
Yeah,
Yeah, big
we
dude.
met Riley.
He's at your thing, which we're going to talk about.
Yes. Yeah. We'll talk. Yeah. It's good lead-in. His
Another comment
wife
there, too.
is the same drop ice out of the
I'm still waiting, Tony.
Yes, Tony.
I gotta read
I'm
it
not
out
there
loud.
yet.
Yep,
For the listeners.
maybe in another 10 years I'll be there.
For the listeners that don't see what's on the screen in podcast land, Tony Cordero just said, "I think you're an adult when you drop ice out of the freezer and don't kick it under the fridge."
None of us are
Let's not
there.
get started on a thing.
Greg,
for
are
our
you
house.
adulting yet?
Oh yeah, I got a dog that picks it up, man. That's like a snack. That dog is all
Meg.
over ice cubes. You bet.
The Meg.
Yep, the Meg.
They made
So-
a second movie about the Meg.
Different kind of Meg though.
I don't know. Anyway,
So Riley's wife, Al, she is the same way. She will not eat any meat bought
Like
from the store,
commercial-
but she
yeah.
will go hunt.
Mhm.
She'll kill turkeys. She'll go to pheasant. She works at a pheasant farm, so she'll shoot pheasants out
Yep.
there, and they'll eat pheasant and venison and turkey and fish and all that stuff. But she won't. If like she comes over to our house, like I tell her, I'm like, hey, I bought the burger from the store. It's not venison, and then she won't eat it.
it's the opposite of a lot of
Yeah.
people. Hey, it's venison. No, I'm not eating that.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
interesting.
So then, and I just know, and I appreciate. I'm like, God,
That
I
makes
wish I could live
sense
your
to me.
lifestyle.
Like, right?
yeah,
And I have, so like, I'm an art teacher at a high school. So my crowd
Yeah, you're a conundrum.
stereotypically is not like what
You-
I stereotypically am.
yeah.
But like I talk to all these kids all the time, and a lot of them are like vegan, and I'm like, can I ask, like, what's the reasoning behind your choice? And a lot of them are, the way these,
Ethics.
mass chicken farms and like how
Mm-hmm.
these animals are treated, and then like they'll ask me, and we'll like get in a conversation very similar, and they'll be like, oh, well, like if you like, I totally get it. If you hunt and like what the animal came from, I think like I would eat. That's really cool. And
Yeah.
it makes sense. And I'm like, oh, this actually does
It's-
all
this
make
This is the
sense.
bridge between.
There
someone's
is
like,
an understanding,
Hey,
and it's
vegans,
just
my-
how like the ethical source of
it
your,
is.
Yeah.
There is
The-
this
the whole
weird
t-shirt of, like,
convergence of vegans
my
and
food
hunters
poops on
coming
your
together
food.
for this reason.
Yeah.
It
This is one of those things. There's just I think Meat Eater's done a really
Is
good
that
job
the
of.
Yeah.
fourth brand of your podcast.
It is.
A vegan
No,
podcast.
but there's no limit.
there it
There's no
is.
limit. How about
Sorry,
some more,
it's
The
drop
four-leaf clover,
Vegans
man.
and velvet.
There you
down?
go.
Vegans in velvet. That'd be kind of a. They just feel like wearing a bunch of bathrobes. Or something.
It's a uniform. I gotta wear a
Drinking
uniform.
champagne. Oh, we're vegan.
Does velour work, or is it just velvet?
Well, I tell you how I killed that buck. Derek killed it for me. That's
yeah.
what happened.
That's right.
A little bit more drop time.
Um,
Man, I wish I could kill a buck like that. That'd be. Could you imagine this 12-point drop time on a freaking?
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
The amount
This
of
is next
trail
year, that's
cameras
good
and things
whiskey.
in the
I
woods,
like
you'll
this.
never see one around here.
Yeah. No,
I saw a drop time buck in Pewaukee in a bank parking lot coming up from the bars one night. I was like, I know I'm not
What is-
supposed to be out here, but you are not supposed to be out here. What is going on?
You sure it wasn't the
called my
bourbon
dad.
talking?
No, but it was like I took a picture of it. I probably have it somewhere in the old Facebook archives, but it's all pixelated. It's like when Blackberries were around. I probably took a picture of the pixelated Blackberry camera.
Of the hundreds of thousands of pictures I've gotten on cameras over the last however many years, one drop time buck ever.
So okay,
Wow,
here's a
it's pretty
question. for you.
rare.
Do you guys think? Have you guys talked to anybody that CWD causes genetic defects in antlers?
I haven't.
Antler growth.
I don't know. We could bring Doug Dern back on. I could text him see if he wants to
I
call
think
in.
I
I've
think
not heard.
But no, I haven't.
So
I don't know.
I have on our property in
I believe it
southwestern
could be
Wisconsin,
possible.
I have an outrageous amount of drop tines
Really?
every year, multiple drop.
Are you gonna
tines.
rename your property to the Drop Time?
Nah, it's the playground.
You should get a sponsorship with these guys.
I should, but like, yeah, there was a double drop that I was like after this year. He had a double main with a drop.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Neat.
crazy looking buck. But every year, like, there's at least
there's
one
some
drop.
Breeding
property.
going on that genetically
don't-
might be
right?
producing.
I don't know if
that
it necessarily has anything to do with
patriarchal-
CWD. It might just be the
Right.
fact that it's the
Genetics in
the
the area.
genetics and the nutrients you have in the soil.
So the other thing is
tough to
we
say.
don't, yeah. And I don't know, like, I haven't dived into this rabbit hole enough, but so we've owned the property. I think this was my 5th season hunting it, either 4th or 5th season. And I have not been able to track a deer over 2 to 3 years and have consistent growth. Like they disappear and they die.
Ooh.
Like they don't reach maturity. So
somebody's either killing them or they're dying off,
And they're
getting hit
not-
by a car.
I know all the people around me, and they're not killing them.
They're not getting shot.
No, they're not getting shot. They're
Are they
just like
smarter?
and the neighbor this year, he shot a buck that it scored like 162, and it weighed,
Wow.
yeah, it was a nice buck. It was a really nice buck. His daughter shot it on opening gun morning, but it weighed like 160 pounds.
Really?
Yeah,
It was-
it's not a real heavy deer.
No,
for the
he was. They
size.
shot
This
it.
guy was 160 dressed,
So,
but it was like all
No,
rutted up.
this-
He was
yeah.
depleted a little bit. Like,
but he was tiny. Like they didn't get like any meat off of it, and he was like, "I'm testing this thing for sure." Like
Did
you
he
looked
get
at it,
results?
it looked like a greyhound.
Did it test positive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very.
That,
positive.
and that's the thing. Like,
very positive. There's positive,
what did,
and then there's
just out of
very positive.
Curiosity, what did the hooves look like? Anything weird with the hooves?
Oh yeah, because you had a
deer
hoof thing
don't.
going on.
And by the way, deer don't survive CWD. So I know yours was displaying some weird things. Like you,
Yeah, I don't
you
know
and
if
I
it
were
was
talking about.
CWD, but it definitely something had happened.
I mean, if he survived EHD, and I don't even know if they survive EHD even. But he definitely had something going on with how goofy his hooves were and what
hooves
you
were
would
real
describe.
goofy.
And he was light for his size.
yeah, very.
So
Not like
I think
counted.
injuries. I think injuries is
What's
that
that,
the
liar,
big one
liar?
that you stalked on?
Sorry.
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
an injured. So he had like a weird, he scabbed over little nick on the knee, but I mean it was all swollen. So that leg, but didn't seem to be working. But his whole shoulder was atrophied. Like you put your hand on it, and you could feel like the scapula, everything. No
Yeah.
muscle on that whole side, and then the hooves were really weird. Like
Like dry rotted.
you know, like you
a
ever
deer.
All of 'em
they were
or
like
just that
dry
one?
rotted, slightly pink. No, all of them, and they were like coming apart a little bit, like real frayed up, like beat up. It was very weird. And they weren't like shoot out at the end, but they were like slightly longer on the ends and like a weird pink color underneath. So I was like, I don't know what's going on with this guy.
yeah,
Yeah, that's odd.
We
I
should
don't.
get, we
I
should
don't
get
know
a
the answer to
biologist
that.
on and. see if
I
we
got
can
pictures. I
flush
took
that out.
pictures of the hooves because it really was interesting.
Yeah, this guy did, but this buck, like when we walked in, I looked at it. I was like, his name's Bruce. I was like, Bruce, is that CWD? He's like, I'm pretty sure it is.
yeah.
He was like, this is a really good buck, but I shot it over here, and I found a buck last year in these rock outcroppings in the same spot, and he was all messed up. So like we shot him too, and then this spring, I had one eating out of or drinking out of the cow puddles, the hoof puddles behind the barn. He would
Really?
come up in the middle of the day and drink, and he was like something, and he was just like wandering around the field. So eventually, like I called the biologist and I was like, "Can I shoot this thing? It is messed up."
Yeah.
And I gave him permission. He called the whatever DNR warden came out and they shot it, tested it positive. He was like, "Yep." But like other than that, like all the deer that I've seen, I've never seen a funky looking deer. And this guy owns the property next to me, so I just haven't seen him. And he's a farmer, so he's out there every day.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just an interesting scenario that I have a drop tine on our property every year. Like it's
It
not,
makes you wonder, like, could
Yeah.
that,
it is.
you know
It
what I
could be
mean? Like,
genetics.
not.
It could be CWD, but they're also not living. Like I'm not seeing bucks that are 6.5, 7.5.
You find any
years old, like,
sheds
big.
that's on your property or no?
No, I don't look that hard, honestly.
You got a lot of hills on your property.
There's a big sign for
Dude,
you.
dude,
A lot of
and you
hills.
guys with the archery shoot, this is a great
Oh,
transition. With the archery shoot coming up, I cut a brand new trail, and it's like I would think it's likely that somebody out there is gonna, when we do the archery shoot, someone's gonna find sheds because the way
Yeah,
the way
You
it
haven't come to it. It's
traverses
pretty
the
fun.
property now, like it's in some good spots. And I've what's been funny is this is the third year of the archery shoot, and every year after we do it, there's like we have human trails that we cut to walk to the target back and forth, and those become deer trails. So I have planned it out for where I want these deer to walk and where I want the trails to be. So where you're shooting is literally going to be like, I don't have any of my stands up right now, but some of these spots, you'll be like, wow, this target's in a oh, wow, this is a real scrape. Oh, wow, I would put a tree stand. Whoa, look at those tree stand marks on that tree right there. Like, okay, I
so the
understand.
shooting event may end, but the shooting will not end until
Right.
December.
Exactly,
Gotcha.
exactly. So, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, where is the? It's outside of Dodgeville. Is that
Nope.
right? I
Yeah,
forget.
yeah. So the archery shoot. So it's the Playground 3D shoot. We call it the Playground because it is. My dad would go out there and he goes to play. So call it the Playground. And he may or may not find like wild mushrooms and ditchweed and like have a good time on the tractor for multiple days, and you just don't see him. So we call it the Playground, and we have the archery shoot. So we bought 15 of the professional series Reinhardt targets, got them out there, and this year, this will be the third year. In prior years, we've done all 15 targets as one course. So this year we're going to divide it into an east and west, and we're going to have a west course with 7 targets. The east course is also 7 targets, and then we're going to have one up at the cabin, up at the house for
Like a trick shot or something?
Yeah, carnival shoots, shoot
You guys have a huge
downs.
cornfield right out there.
Exactly. Yeah. So
whatever
we'll
it
have
is.
like a 100-yard shoot down. We'll also have the standard shoot down, which we did last year, where it's 1-on-1. I think you guys took off at like noon or something like that.
Yeah, I never
so-
can stay. I'm like,
Yeah,
my
no,
wife's
it's
like,
cool.
you're doing what? I'm like, shit.
I sincerely appreciate you
I
guys
come in,
just
like, I gotta
showing
go.
up. But yeah, in the afternoon, it's so yeah, unlimited shooting. So you go and shoot the course, whatever. Bring your own drinks, have fun, have a good time. We include lunch, and then I don't say dinner's included, but like last year we had a giant crawfish or a shrimp boil, which everyone just picked over. And that
Cool.
I made enough food. Like when I did the math.
It's hard to plan for that
for
stuff.
40 people to make sure that like we had enough dinner food, and there were about 50 people that showed up. So I was like, all right, 10 will probably leave or so, and all I think there were like 24, 25 people left, and they smashed all that food.
Nice.
It was gone. Yeah, so they had some lattes.
I'm sure there
You
was
know.
enough beer consumed to
Yeah.
help with that. You
Exactly.
get a little
gotta soak it
munchies
up,
going
yeah.
on.
But yeah, we do the shoot. Unlimited shooting. You just shoot the courses. It's fun. Like you said, there's a lot of hills and valleys and water and cliffs and shit like that. So we'll
It's
have
fun
a bunch
and
of
all.
that. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good.
the
it's a
magic
good shoot.
carp is fun to shoot in the creek.
Yeah, the carp is gonna be. So we found a new like mini waterfall on the property this year, and we spent a lot of time cleaning it out. I'll show you guys some pictures after this, but the carp is gonna be in a waterfall this year, which would be pretty
Sweet.
cool. So you actually be shooting. Like, and if
Into
you
the water?
miss, you're gonna hit a rock. Your arrow's gonna shatter.
That's cool.
So it'll be a fun little shoot there. But yeah, and then we have, so that'll be that'll be on the East course, West course, unlimited shooting there. Prizes for the winners. No one, usually like a 10 ring average wins it. So, or slightly above. I think last year 11 point average won it, which was, out of 15 targets, I think it was like 156.
Greg got
157.
famous from that, from your event. We
did?
put it,
Oh,
Greg.
you made it happen.
You got like really
Oh.
famous on like some viral post. It was like, he's like, my glasses are fogged up. It was,
They were.
I
It was,
poking
remember,
it.
it was hotter than hell.
You know which one?
Hotter than hell.
That was the ram.
That was
the
the
ram.
It was the ram or the collared peccary. I don't know.
Yes. Oh my
But the
God.
ram is another one I smoked an arrow on last year. 'cause
Yeah,
I-
that ram one's hard. I can't do that one.
It
good.
was
It's like under
because
a
it's
cliff.
dark in there.
Yeah.
It's so
It
dark
is.
in there next to that outcropping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I see it. And then, of course, you're breathing heavy. Glasses start to fog. Mosquitoes are filling your ear. I'm like, yeah, I think I got it. Well, I'll just aim for that maple leaf. It goes through the maple leaf, which is way up here.
No,
and
you
I'm
literally
shooting-
said, I'm just going to poke and hope.
Yeah. Well, that was a different shot. But that was the peccary.
in there. Yeah.
But yeah, that one was. I was both lenses fogged.
That's
and
what happens when you
panting
poke
like a
and hope.
dog.
Dude,
Yeah.
it sounded so terrible. I was like, good luck fighting that.
I did though.
For
Yeah.
some guy that gives me so
my
much
God.
shit, I didn't lose an arrow last year. And I was
Yeah.
really proud of that.
Dude,
I'm
that's
proud to
good.
not lose an arrow. That's like my bar.
Yeah, dude.
Success.
So I've done a tack and I lost a couple arrows, and I was just like, why do I want to go to a place where I'm gonna spend a bunch of money to also spend a bunch of money? So right, it is
fun, but-
so this course is designed. It's 15 to 60 yards, and it's designed to, like, in theory, not lose a lot of arrows. Like in realistic shots that we're gonna find in the Midwest, right? Not antelope at 87 yards to like.
I've never shot
7-1
uphill at
deep.
anything. That's a.
But we did a
totally
bunch of
different-
uphill
Well,
last
that's
year. And
the
that
only
was
time
fun.
I've really ever shot uphill is at your course. Honestly,
Yeah.
like it's not something I've ever practiced before. And I was like, well, this is. I got a new bow, but it's not set up. It's right there. That's the new one. So I got
fancy.
the latitude or the. Boy, oh boy, my brain and the wires I'm crossing. The Method Archery guys, they had a press in their truck. They're gonna come by, and they're gonna help me get this thing
You
set
can do a
up.
mobile setup.
Yeah.
This is sweet, dude.
Yeah.
The
it's-
Legend XR.
Yeah, it's the new one from
this is
Bear.
money.
And then they sent us a couple legits for our archery event that we're doing later in August.
Yes.
In August. So
Yeah,
which
that
you
was
came
fun.
to
Are
ours,
you gonna
so-
do?
Yeah, you were
Are you
there.
gonna do it at Horicon again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this time we're gonna do overnight camping because it's in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and there's a lot of people that apparently are driving from other states, and I feel that's kind of a lot to ask.
It is.
I had to go there last week Tuesday after the podcast to add my request to the agenda, and I have to go back this week Thursday to have it approved by the whole membership. And I'm a member, and I've already tentatively got the date. And because I'm a member, I can technically have events, but there's probably some questions. We got to figure out the revenue. I did a revenue share with them, and last year I was in a pinch because we were going to do it at Hubbleton Brewing, and then Hubbleton got into a battle with the township.
Yeah.
Which is all you can go look it up now. And at that point, I was talking with you about maybe renting some of your targets, and Greg was going to help set up a course. It was going to be a really small course, but it was going to be cool because we had a brewery.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be really fun. That's where the name Foam Fest came from. We actually birthed this idea shooting your course.
Oh, nice.
I was like, this is fun. We should do this.
Yeah, you should.
Because he's like, we're just out here killing foam. I'm like, Foam Fest. Foam Fest. Let's call it that. And that was like it. And then Greg's like, God, you're freaking weird. And then like I think a week later I had the logo done and we were off to the races. I sat on it for a while, but I think HorrorCon Bowman's a good spot.
Yeah. It's a great spot.
There's no internet
There's
service there whatsoever. But there's none by you either. On those hills and shit. It's like there's not much.
No, it comes and goes. If you're in the right valley, you're okay.
Yeah, we'd give you the Wi-Fi, the Tesla Starlink password. It'd probably just be like Pornhub viruses from it.
Your iPhone's infected. iPhones don't get infected. For this shit.
Yeah.
I don't need a bigger, you know what? Like, I've gotten this far in life. It's fine.
You do.
Yeah.
I got kids. It works. Shut up.
I always dated girls with small hands.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man,
Lord,
Ugly here. Sorry, guys. And gals.
But yeah, so I mean the archery shoot will be fun. It'll be a good time. And I like you were saying uphill shots. Yeah, the idea is a lot of downhill shots and then uphill, and
It's very
always,
dynamic.
Yeah.
You cover all the bases.
Trying to. I think there's the way I'm planning it this year. Like the West course is going to be fun. The only other thing is like it's going to be roughly a 2-mile course, and I had some complaints about that in year one. Like, dude, we need like a water cooler on this hill.
There is that one that had quite the grade to it. It was like a slow,
it was a
steady
good one.
slope, and I was like, man.
So
hopefully, I'm a little bit more in shape this year. I've actually started working out ahead of time.
that'll be good. So then we have so we're gonna have the two courses, west and east, and in the middle they're gonna like it kind of looks like
No one's gonna get shot. This isn't like a battle, right?
no.
Everything.
Line up like dodgeball.
Everything that he's done,
Arrows
it's
are
always
in the middle.
It
It's
can
always
be.
in this line of safety. I mean, everything is done perfectly.
I try. Yeah, that's
Well, the one
like,
year we
that's
got
the
lost.
hardest part.
We didn't get lost. We just couldn't find.
That is kind of the hardest part. It's like, well, we have all these terrain features. We can do a lot of cool shots in this area, but you don't want to stack all your cards in one area. You know, and you have the property to spread it out, which is great.
Yeah,
It is impressive. Like the property is beautiful.
it's pretty
Like
cool.
you have waterfalls and streams and huge rock formations and like beautiful scenic overlooks.
Yeah,
Like it's really something.
yeah. The Black
honestly.
Panther last year was pretty.
That was
like,
that was an
yeah.
epic.
That's
just
like-
just sitting on you're kind of on the back edge of that outcropping, and
Yeah.
you look over like, oh yeah, look at that. There's the bottom. I hear people down there too.
right, and it's 30 feet straight
It
down.
is down there. Yep.
Yeah, dude, bobcats love that area. So
Do they?
like,
You
in
getting
the
a lot on
winter-
camera there?
Yeah,
That's
yep.
cool.
So there's a couple deadfalls that fall off those, and the bobcats will climb up those deadfalls, and there's a whole bunch of, and we put a whole bunch of, we took a Jeff Sturgis Whitetail Habitat
Yeah, yeah.
Solutions. We did a bunch of pallet rabbit houses this year. And so, like, we had more bobcats than we've ever had
That's
this
awesome.
year, which is pretty cool. Yeah,
Have
a
you
couple
done-
big ones.
Have you done some rabbit hunting on your property?
We have, yeah. Usually we get like somewhere between 5 and 8.
Okay.
Like when we go out and
Yeah.
actually like,
That's fun.
yeah. Oh, dude, it's a good time, and especially like if we don't get too hammered the night before, like,
Let's go shoot some hares. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So,
Hair of the dog, hair of the bunny.
yeah. So in between the, oh, dude, that's a story. So it's in between the two courses. There's going to be a beer tent this year.
Oh,
so
great.
like
Okay.
you kind of go down to a T and you turn left or right,
Mhm.
and that will divide up the courses. And in there will be my wife and her good friend Sarah will be there with beers and water.
That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
milked my beer.
Well,
I'm
last
like,
year
I don't want to litter.
they had water there for us. So
Yeah, they had
Got a
it, and we
table.
just had it there as like
Bug spray, I think.
a rough idea
Yeah.
of like whatever, because we had the 2 shots in a row, right? The ram and the turkey, and we won't do that again because that was a big hold up. That was the biggest complaint last year.
That's
that
right.
it
You had to do
took
was a
too
prerequisite.
long.
You had to do one before the others.
Yeah. So it was a double target. So people got
I
hung up
remember
there.
that.
But this year we won't have that. But then they'll be in the middle, so you can stop and effectively shoot one course, grab a beer, hang out, grab some water, grab some snacks, whatever.
Intermission.
And lunch will be there too,
Mhm.
and then you can move on to the next course.
That's awesome.
So it's kind of like this. Yeah.
You
And
burn
then
your
you can just
calories,
go
you
back and
replenish, you
forth.
go burn some more.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you finish, like you start on west and you go east and then you finish east and you want to shoot west again, you can just work right on
Keep
back.
going.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's kind of the idea. Rabbit hair. So this
yeah, hold on. So, but just before we go down the literal rabbit hole, when is the event? Is it open to the public? It is, right, to some degree. Like how are people, like we're talking about it right now. So if anyone that's going to get interested in this,
yeah.
what can we just
Yep. So
Round that out a
Deer
little
Vane.
bit.
So deervane.com.
Yep.
All right, just go there. That's
And it's
the-
DEERVANE, not
Yep.
yeah, okay.
Yep, you got it. You can.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll
There we
zoom in on
go.
that. There we go.
Tony wants to explain the rabbit pallet house. We'll do that, Tony. So it's deervane.com or just Deer Vane on any of the socials, and you'll find it there. And then you go there, and there's a registration link. So you click on that, and it'll give you all the details. It's June 17th
Okay.
from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So it's at our private land just outside of
I
Dodge.
think we try to get there in the morning usually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're there right
Historically,
away.
good.
Yep. So generally, yeah, just outside of Dodgeville, and I give because it's our private like hunting land. Once you register, that earns you the exact address. So I don't just put
Yeah.
the exact address out there for
Probably
everybody.
smart.
Yeah, try to somewhat be smart in my life every now and then. So yeah, you register. It's $40 at the door, or you can pay ahead of time, whatever floats your boat. I appreciate the $40 ahead of time just because it helps
Easier.
you buy food and everything, and I can account for cost, and you actually show up when you pay. But if you want to just pay $40 at the door and give cash, that's cool too. So get registered, then you get all the details right there on the page, and then I send you a calendar invite to your email that has the date with the address and everything in it. So then you're set, you know where it is, and yeah, you can go. So that's Father's Day weekend. Is June 18th is Father's Day, so June 17th is for the boys.
Nice.
Nothing on my calendar.
Yeah. So that's
He's adding it right now. Look at this guy.
right?
Smart. I
Yeah,
should do the
exactly.
same.
So yeah, and I haven't
Maybe I can convince
trying
my dad
to be a
come with me
nice,
on that
courteous person. I haven't auto registered you guys. I have you on my list as attending, but I haven't auto registered
one. Well,
you.
yeah, I think we're
So-
regulars.
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
perennials.
So, and the other, the other nice thing is we got over $1,000 in prizes this year.
Nice.
So,
I think did we do a prize with you?
yeah,
Or how
you
I don't-
did.
'cause,
Yep,
like,
we
you just-
did. We did an
You're
Okayest
such an
Hunter
asshole. I
package.
was like, oh, we'll give you stuff. You're like, no, I'll buy it. I'm like, what? What's happening? So
Yeah, that's yeah. So we got Exodus cameras, our newest partner Origin. So I got
nice.
I got Origin partnership last week. So that's
Cool.
pretty
Cool.
hey, that's great. That's
Congrats,
what I said
man.
Very
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll do some Origin stuff. Then that includes like Jocko Fuel, which is like supplements and
I'll
whatnot.
drink that the whole time.
Yeah, dude, that shit's really good. We'll have Jocko Go cans. That's like my
If you get him as a speaker there, everything that'd be
No, I don't have 100 grand sitting around.
But if the event's so good, I think he'll just come.
Yeah, right. So yeah,
You can't do your course. Pff, what a little bitch.
No, yeah, I know.
He'll be there.
Him
at 4 a.m.,
and
don't
Joe
worry.
Rogan wouldn't
Yeah.
stand a chance.
Someone's gonna
I
kill us.
dare you, boys.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
won't come.
They'll
You know
this
who-
will never make it to them.
Yeah.
Literally
No,
ever.
no, and
Just talk all the shit you want.
even if they invited Cam Haynes, it still wouldn't happen.
No,
They'd still.
he might have a shot.
David Goggins would keep people moving around the
He's
course
just
the
running
whole
around.
time.
Let's go!
Yeah. Carry those goddamn boats.
Come on, boat crew. Boat crew 7, whatever it was. Holy shit. We've all read the same books.
So yeah, it's Exodus, Vortex. Got some Vortex stuff. Got some Origin stuff.
they're not far from
Method
that,
Archery.
so that's
No, yeah, yep. And then I got some. I'm gonna order some Okayest Hunter stuff from
Cool.
you guys. And then
yeah, we don't have
I
anything
got some
here.
Onyx Hunt
As you
stuff.
looking around the room.
No,
Like,
I know. Well,
we
I
have
haven't.
a-
I haven't
yeah.
even asked you about it. That's how behind I am.
You got a 3PL.
on
He'll
it,
ship
but-
you stuff.
Yeah. So then we have we just have a whole bunch of prizes and then cash prizes too. So like last year, you guys left at like midday, but the first year was really fun because there was a tornado that rolled through and we literally saw it.
Oh my
Like,
God.
we could see it hillside. So the cabin where we're at is like on top of a
Holy
hill.
crap, yeah,
you
yeah.
could see it in the distance, like rolling
We got
through.
out of there just in time.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. And I was starting to be like, what do we do if this comes out? So in second year, like last year, it was kind of drizzling. So
Get on the
people
four-wheeler, you
were,
start making your rounds real quick.
oh yeah, we'd be rolling like out of there somewhere. So then last year it started like raining at halftime, basically. So we all kind of stayed around and everybody started drinking. So then we had a shoot. So we went and grabbed a target and put it out in the yard and we had a shoot down. So basically everybody put their name in a hat. We drew 1-on-1. So you had to go up against someone else
At
1-on-1.
random. That's
Oh,
kind of
that's
cool.
cool.
At
That's fun.
random. And everybody, we have this big porch overhang that's
Yep.
I don't know, 100 feet long. And everybody was standing there. So you had to shoot in
Front
front
of the
a crowd.
crowd.
Yeah, and it was 1-on-1, closest to the center moves on,
Wow.
and you get one shot. So it was really that was really fun. And the winner ended up, and every round we moved it back about 5-6 yards, and it was random. So like the first round was at
It's only random because you guys were drunk. You make it sound so intentional. Let's move it back.
yeah, exactly.
We did it at
But
random
dude,
by
the,
stumbling, and then wherever it landed,
Yep.
that's where it landed.
And you
See
can't
that
use
arrow
your-
that missed?
Yeah,
Put it there.
Yep, yeah, that's the one. So yeah, you can't use rangefinders. So it was all
Okay.
a guesstimate, right? So that made it a little bit
You
more
gotta poke
fun.
and hope.
Yep. So we started at 25 and we just moved it back in random increments.
Yep.
And the final shot was at 62. And dude fucking 12 ringed it.
Really?
Yeah, and the other guy got a 10 ring. on
Wow.
That's
60. All
pretty
right, at
awesome.
62, I was like, dude, that was
Without a rangefinder.
without a rangefinder.
That's cool.
It was wild. Yeah. it
Epic
was-
showdown.
So,
Yeah.
note to anybody that's going to attend: start ranging the open area by the cabin when you get there.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can have a mental note.
Oh,
Put some markers down.
That's where it
See
gets
that pine
changed
cone?
up.
That's 50. I put that there.
Yeah, so like when you pull into the driveway, there's like kind of the woods off to the
Yep.
right, and like off
That's
to
where
the left
that's
is
where
the
usually
cabin.
where I go pee when I get there right away.
Yep. So that woods, they have my dad and his buddies have cleared out, so it's
Okay.
pretty like sparse now. And I was looking through it, and there is a beautiful spot for a target that like has like 4 or 5 trees crisscrossing in front of it, and there's a nice little hole to just poke and
Swing an
hope.
arrow. Nice.
The poke and hope.
So
target.
that'll
It is the
probably
poke
be
and
like
hope.
part of
Greg's
it.
like the king of the
Yeah.
one-liners here.
We'll do, yeah. So there will be some fun stuff in the afternoon, and like you can win money. So I think the person who got that at 62 yards, I think he won like $50 or $60 because everybody.
It'd be cool to make my money
out of
back
that.
on paying to go. That'd be at least
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with that.
That's a
wife would
great-
be happy.
That's a great point. So it's $40
Yep.
to go, but that also includes lunch.
Yeah,
So
it
you're-
covers.
if
Yeah,
you
it's a
assume
lot
lunch-
of work for you to do this stuff, and it's
Yeah.
funny because we did ours, and we had. I think Greg cooked up some food. We had Nesco sent me some Nescos for like stew and whatever. What did you cook? What did you?
I
make?
just did
chili?
ground. Well,
Oh, yeah, you
everybody
made
called
Sloppy
it
Joe's.
chili, but it's sloppy joes. It's
Yeah, that's right.
barbecues.
Oh,
so
yeah.
venison
Perfect.
barbecues. I had a ton of ground venison, so why not?
We did some other stuff. I think I bought a bunch of donuts for the morning. I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh.
We had donuts out, and I got coffee. So because we ran the whole thing all day.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to deal with targets though, and they sprayed for mosquitoes, which I was like, I didn't know that's something that they were gonna do. So this dude hops on this gator, and I'm like, oh, dude, what's up? And he's like, I'm gonna go spray the whole course for mosquitoes. I was like, shut the fuck up.
That's awesome.
You just made this way more worth it than I ever could have anticipated.
Yeah.
So hopefully you didn't have any bug problems. But
No, we didn't.
Like, I was like, wow, it was. So I don't have to do half of the stuff you have to do. Like, not even close. I just have to go to these damn board meetings.
which is a thing in
a
itself.
thing.
Like that's
Yeah.
a pain.
But
Right.
they got it all taken care of. It. I thought it's kind of cool because we were able to get, like, I'm not trying to steal the thunder, but
No,
it's
no,
just kind
no,
of fun to
take the
talk
thunder.
about the 3D archery stuff, like setting up saddle platforms and saddles and shooting from that.
Yeah.
The fact that they have the space to do that stuff. But you're doing that at yours also. You have pine trees kind of towards the back of the house, and you're setting up, like you always have platforms set up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and
so
it
yep.
depending on what kind of target, you got to be very careful. Like, hey guys, we're gonna be shooting here or something. But just getting in these things and trying that stuff out, a lot of folks have
Yeah.
not fully experienced a saddle,
No.
still, or a stand, or a certain
Yeah,
type,
or
whatever.
a good hang-on stand.
Yeah,
A
even.
good hang-on stand
or
for
certain
people who've
sticks.
not hunted from one, and then you put one in their hands that are like, "Holy crap!
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is why you're paying more money." Like,
Yeah.
it's eye-opening.
quiet. Like,
not the
Exactly.
rickety
I
Fleet
have
Farm
a, I have a
special.
lone wolf platform currently.
Yeah.
It's the what's it called, assassin or something.
It's the big one.
It is the bigger one.
Is it a hang-on stand or is it the?
No,
It's
it's
just
the
a platform.
big saddle
Okay,
platform,
gotcha.
the big one.
All right.
and it doesn't make any noise. Like there's no
No,
the
it's
only noise is
awesome.
when you set it. Like that's kind of it. But you toggle the pitch or whatever based on the lean of the
Cam
tree,
lock it to the tree.
and it's got a hell of a bite on it. Like the thing's a little dangerous.
Yeah, don't drop it on your
Drop it
leg.
on your shin or something like that. You'll fuck yourself up real bad. It's got a hell of a bite. But and then I have their sticks that form right to it, which I really enjoy. But then Latitude's got their new Carbon Speed series. So if I have those by the time your event comes around, I'll bring them.
Yeah, you should.
They weigh. I mean, I have to try them out at ATA, and they weigh nothing. They weigh like what 8 ounces or something.
It's
9
light.
ounces,
That's awesome.
and they're like a proprietary blend of carbon fiber and some stuff. And that's
Straight out of the
steel.
automotive industry.
Well, the
fancy.
aerospace actually, I think. Yeah, it's funny because I posted a video about it on TikTok and got 1 million views,
No shit.
which is so interesting because I'm like, well, I know how much I pay for impressions. That would have cost like $6,000, so that's great. But also, dude, people are nuts. Like the amount of commentary people have on things that they have no understanding of.
Oh my.
The quote that I
I'm
afraid
I wouldn't
to-
hunt out of that.
The quote that I'm afraid to say because it sounds mean, but like dogs bark at things they don't know too.
Right.
You know, like
Yep.
just shut up and just go do some
Dude,
research for
yeah.
a second. You know,
So you know that turkey video I posted of the turkeys running at me.
Yeah.
yeah, that was great.
Right.
Yeah.
dude,
Was it
that
three of
wild.
them or four?
Yeah.
Four. There are four
Yeah.
total, and 3 of them
You
came
said like
at
a
me.
red something, right? Or
I literally, it's this, this cell phone case, like this.
That's the turkey.
I was hiding behind this, just like this, and they were coming at me.
They came right at
like,
ya.
They came right. I'm like, dude, yeah. So interesting
God, they're
enough,
stupid.
I chased those same 4 fucking birds
With your
on Friday last
Yeah.
week, and I couldn't kill them.
Couldn't kill him.
I couldn't kill one of them.
You didn't.
Like, they
you didn't
were-
pull them out and just go.
Oh,
Should've
dude,
got
they
your
were.
shirt off. That's a secret
I
weapon
am,
right there.
Like,
Smile,
I will,
bitches.
dude, I'll show you guys some pictures. But we were set up on a public-private land border, and the turkey was 10 yards on the other side, and we were on this side, and we were within 10 yards of this thing for 30
you just
minutes, and
couldn't
he
get
was
him
just. Blah, 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 and then all of a sudden another one. Blah, all 4 of them were right there.
yeah, I'll do it at
And
the
they
same
were
time too.
10
don't they?
yards away. Couldn't get them, couldn't kill them. And literally, like, on the private land, there was a house like 200 yards away, and the people were outside playing in the yard.
Oh wow.
And these things were sounding
Right
off
there.
like this. And we're like, dude, we just got to get them on the other side of these trees.
Come on.
Like, come on.
Call sexy.
Right?
Call
I
sexy.
know. I was
It's
like, I
funny
can't,
what
like-
they'll hang up on the stupidest thing though.
Can you
Oh,
bait
yeah.
with
I mean,
bread? Can you,
For sure.
Put some bread out there.
Bread ball.
right? Like
the can full of golden chiclets, man.
Right?
No,
So, but yeah,
they'll hang up on the stupidest thing. I mean,
Dog.
I've had it happen. Just a barbed wire fence going across. They could have ducked under, and any other given day they would have. But because they saw decoys there, no, we want the decoy to come over here. You know, you're trying to defy nature once again.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
you can't quite get it done.
But don't worry, there's a keyboard cowboy. Someone says, well, that's bullshit.
It's fine.
So the point of that story
Cowboy up.
was I posted that on Instagram, and I got, I don't know, like 30 comments.
Yep.
29 were positive. One was like, "What are you doing, you bonehead?"
Taking pictures.
I know. I'm like people tend to. And so then I look on TikTok, and I got double the views and quadruple the comments of "You're an idiot." Like, and I'm like, "Why do you think I'm an idiot?" And I asked one of the people, I'm like, "Why am I an idiot?" They're like, "Why are you calling to turkeys outside of season?" I'm like, I have my dog with me. What do you mean? I'm walking my dog. And if you look in the background, you can see my truck topper. I'm 100 yards from my truck. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah,
Not
of course I'll
enjoy-
bust out my phone. Like, and
Right?
take a picture.
Yeah,
of it.
like
This is
like
great.
people
Yeah.
think that I am literally calling to these birds and like rude.
I got
like,
home from a run one morning, and they're like right across the street. There's a Tom trying to engage
Shut
with
up.
some female
Yeah.
hens, and well, that's a redundant statement. Just some hens, and I was like, oh, this is fucking
A
cool.
doe, a deer, a female deer.
Yeah, pretty much. So I go to my truck, I grab one of the. I happen to have a mouth call in there, which I'm not good at using. It's like meow 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 meow. My wife comes out, she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "There's a freaking turkey right there." And then the female started responding to me. I was like, "This is kind of cool. I'm just like right here in my neighborhood, like you know, like
If you can talk to the hens and keep them engaged,
Yeah.
that's what helps.
That's what's so frustrating about turkeys, though, is like the situation you had before season. Here come 4 running in. I've had that happen. My mom and I were shed hunting up north when I was probably in high school. We heard Tom's gobble just out in the hardwoods, and I did like a mouth call, like 3 yelps, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're coming!" So we sat down. They came to like 10 yards. You know, they're strutting everywhere. Like our season started like 4 days later. Could not get one within yard, like anywhere.
Dude, we'll be
and
at,
then my mom is sending me videos. She cleans houses for a living.
Yep.
And one of the houses she cleaned at was along the East River in Green Bay, and there's always turkeys. And she's like, "Look at this stupid turkey!" And it's this giant tom pecking the bumper of the guy's truck because it sees its reflection, and it's like strutting. And I'm like, "These stupid freaking birds! We couldn't get close for." Oh,
there they are.
frustration.
You got city chickens and you got country chickens.
Yep, that's right.
They're big in in the neighborhoods too. Like we got a
They
flock
are.
that comes on the bird feeders and stuff, and they're huge.
They're mean.
They're giant. I like dogs.
Eating
going
good in the
I can say the
neighborhood.
word deer in the living room. The dogs pop up on the windowsill. You know, I got trim for. I can just say deer for turkey. It'll pop up all the same.
No look.
What did we have in the yard the other day? I think we had something in the yard the other day, and the dog Dottie was losing her shit, like just losing it. I don't know what it was. It was maybe a crane or something like that. Those things are everywhere.
Oh yeah, they are. I'm wondering when they're gonna open a season here.
What's the rabbit story? To
Oh
bring the
yeah,
plan for
oh
landing?
yeah. So, well, rabbit story plus rabbit. Tony
Yep.
asked pallet houses.
Pallet houses.
So you take pallets, and you get 3 or 4, and you stack them kind of anywhere you want rabbits to go, but generally like within like
You stack
10
them
yards
like
of a field
orderly, or
edge.
do you stack them just kind of
Nah,
whatever?
wonky.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, you want them.
They gotta.
Open
Yeah,
spaces.
yeah.
Yep. So yeah, you like turn them whatever, however you want, but you stack 4 of them or so, 4 or 5 of them, and then you like surrounding area you find deadfall and you pile that on top and you create a mini rabbit home because the pallets keep
It's like fish cribs.
basically
The pallets
exactly
are the
same
framing
concept.
for it, and you
Yep.
just cover it with brush.
Yep. And that way, because if you just like topple
brush.
trees, it's too
It breaks
It
down.
compresses it down,
It does.
Yeah, and you
A
don't
frame.
have any gaps.
You're giving a frame. a
Whereas a pallet
foundation.
house, yeah,
Yeah.
pallet house gives you the foundation so the rabbits can squirt in there and like hang out and do their thing. So yeah, we have 2 fields.
Do you
two
make it too
12-acre
good where you can't
fields.
get them out? Do you go jump on that pile and try to get them out?
There's a
No?
few of them that are too good.
You're like shit.
But that's
no, they're not
okay.
coming
Like
out.
the bobcats, the foxes, they
They'll
can't
root
get
them
them
out.
out either.
Ah!
So like they live,
They'll proliferate.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the dumb ones will get. Every year there's dumb ones. So
We gotta
that's
go,
that.
Harry.
But then the,
You're breeding
yeah,
a super population of smart rabbits.
Right.
In 5 years, you'll never get one.
I know they'll all stay in there. Then we'll just burn them.
Harry
They'll
left. He
come
never
out.
came
They'll
back. I'm
come out.
never leaving.
Or they'll be cooked.
Exactly.
Little barbecue.
Yep.
Sorry, go
But
on.
yeah, the rabbit hair story was I knew my wife was gonna be my wife when we had a hunt out at a buddy's place, and I don't know if you guys have met. His name's Parker. He's
don't
one of my
know.
best
Maybe.
buddies. He's at the shoot every year.
probably
I'll have to
know.
introduce you. But he has a cabin close by to our land as well, and we went on a rabbit hunt. We got a bunch of rabbits and we cooked them up, but he doesn't have running water. So when we were cleaning them, there was certainly like rabbit hair that was getting on the meat, and we tried to clean them as best we could. We did all right. We had a few lattes in us while we were cleaning them. So then we like put it in the crock pot, cooked it for 8 hours or whatever, pulled it out in a stew and put it into styrofoam cups, and literally like put it into styrofoam cups. And because they were white, you could just see like a ring of rabbit hair. And my wife still like, as she was my girlfriend at the time. She still took a bite and she was like, "It's good, but I don't like the hair."
Good for her for trying.
I was like, good, yeah,
It's
good
an
for
odd
you.
play on words because rabbit are called a hare.
Hairs. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate you trying this for the first time. You know, let's keep dating.
I remember
Next year, a few more lattes, you won't even notice.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I invited my wife to our buddy's house, and I spent a lot of time at their house. Like I remember, I would go there and I would know, like, oh, I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. Like it was basically my second bed.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna have a bonfire, we're gonna have a good night, we're gonna drink, and I don't have to go home because I don't have anything else. I have no responsibilities in this world. I had no kids, no girlfriend, nothing. Right? Like it was
Yeah.
great. Not to say it's not great now, just different. And I was dating my wife before she was my wife, and I was like, yeah, come on to my buddy's house. We're here. We'll play games tonight and we'll have fun, whatever. And she pulls up, and I see her park her car, and then she drives off. She never came in. I was like, yeah, that's not good. So I'm like, hey, what's up? She goes, BRB. And I don't know what it was, but she
to
pulled
poop.
up, and she's like, I forgot the beer. So she went to some like liquor store in a town that she's not from, doesn't have any familiarity around, and got a 12-pack of PBR. and
That a
came
girl.
back with a 12-pack of PBR. We're like, oh, this girl right here, you know, it's
She's
like this
in.
funny thing. She's
won.
like, I forgot the beer, you know. I was
that
like,
when you
that's why you
proposed, or-
bailed? I was
Yeah,
like, I thought you were
exactly.
like, I'm out. I saw the house and I'm out. And she was in.
Dude, I would have thought she had to poop.
Right. I have a
She
story-
actually
I-
was on her way out of town until you texted her. She's like, "Fuck, they saw me."
Yeah, that's the truth. That is the truth.
I do have a,
I'll be good getting beer.
I do have a pooping story about my wife. I'll leave that one off the internet. Save her. some
Probably
days.
smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys though. It's pretty funny. Well, I think that was a nice episode.
It was.
Any? Did I
enjoyed
forget
it.
anything?
My cheeks
Deervane.com.
hurt.
Which ones?
My facial cheeks.
I can tell you when I sit in
I
that chair, my cheeks
These
hurt
chairs-
too.
Yeah,
They're good.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
good. They-
Derek usually throws it into lift
My-
mode.
That chair rises
Did you
up
say-
real nice.
He like almost hit his head on the beam one time. I was like, holy shit. We lost our cool on that one. We were laughing way too hard. We had a
that's
guest on. I was like, we were dying.
You lost your shit, man.
I couldn't
Yeah.
handle it. I was like, hey, you're like not in frame of the camera. Like it was Greg and then Derek's way down here. Like it wasn't lining
If
up.
you
I was
haven't
like,
noticed, we all suffer from ADHD.
Yeah. Yeah, you did a
all
real
right.
good job staying on topic. Like I was really pushing for you to go this way, and you're like, no, we'll come back to the trail.
Oh,
No,
it's
we'll
all
come
right.
back to the trail. You did great.
He should show up more often.
Yeah.
I have to.
Regulator.
Regulators. Gus
don't-
has a shirt that says "Regulators mount up with a tricycle."
Tricycle. That's awesome. A
My
big
wife
wheel.
got that.
Oh, that's great. Tony said he's gonna do it. By the way, he's gonna do the not the
His
fish, but
property
the-
would work out good for that. He's got some field and he's
Yeah.
got
Oh,
plenty of good
dude.
edge.
Yeah.
Tony
So we
will
had
be
a
out there in
significant-
January to test them out.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
get
got-
them planted now.
Where's
Get
this,
them planted now. Those baby bunnies will come. They'll find those homes and they'll hang out.
I'll have places to hide.
Well, Zach Church said he's gonna get the 19. They're 19 ounces. I was totally wrong. I said 9, but I was kind of right. There's a 9 there. The 19-ounce carbon speed
Oh,
series. from
yeah.
Latitude.
Still pretty light. A little over a
Oh
pound.
yeah. I mean, like you,
That's a pound.
and they stack.
A little over
They
a
stack
pound.
real nice. So I'm excited about it. But hopefully everyone has a good evening, a good week. Check out the Deer Vane 3D Archery Playground.
yeah.
And was you said Father's Day weekend, June 16th.
17th. June 17th.
17th.
And the 18th is Father's Day.
That's right.
Yep.
You got a lot of guys that stay over on the property or camp out or what?
Yeah, just like I haven't had any randoms want to stay over here,
That's probably good.
which
That
is
makes it
okay.
a little-
But like, yeah, but generally speaking, I know most
you know
of the
most
people.
well enough.
Yeah, there's generally like 30 people that come, 30, 40 people that I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like 20 to 30 that I don't know. But the 20 to 30 that I don't know, I get to learn real fast. Like, you know, you hang out with someone.
Yeah.
For 20, 30 minutes.
Good to meet you, Dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for coming.
Yep. I do not want you to stay over. You're going to be a problem.
Did you check out the West Course? Yeah,
Yeah.
go check that out real
Right?
quick.
How was
There's
lunch? It was
that.
good. All right, see ya.
Campground down the road.
There is a campground down the road.
There is a mile away. Yeah.
We
there's
had some hats in the retail
I
shop
thought you knew
down the
because he
road.
told you to
Yeah,
head down.
that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that dude. I'll have to talk about him. Shane's the
great.
shit.
Yeah.
Shane's got.
He's like he bought a bunch of hats on. We actually have a retail price list for that particular scenario, and he gladly
Yeah.
purchased some hats and
Shane's
sold a lot
awesome.
of them.
I got to
so.
go buy a bunch of. I got 3 guns. I'm gonna buy from him this year. So got to go buy some guns. But yeah, he's got FFL and he's getting the suppressor capabilities. So or whatever.
He was
I don't
talking
know
about that
guns.
last year.
Yeah, he's finally getting it. So then
That
he can
timed
do
it
all the
bad.
fun stuff. That's all right. We're out.
See ya.
Peace.
See you.